ever get the feeling that everything in America is completely fucked up? You know that feeling that the whole country is like 1 inch away from saying, that's it, forget it. Let's see,
Hey,
we're
twist
on,
around. Now look, here's a house full of bees. You think the honey badger cares? It doesn't give a shit.
Listen, let's get one thing straight.
Price is right.
Guns don't kill people. I do.
Came on the heel.
Israel has never had a better friend than President Donald Trump.
Gold jacket, green jacket.
Multi-millions still unfed.
I think some apologies are in order.
We were just joking how that was Sick Sputnik, right?
Yeah,
Which
see you guys.
yeah, and that song's from Ferris Bueller's Day Off, isn't it? In
That's
the
what made me think of it. Yep.
Okay, yeah. And it's funny, you played it within the first 4 notes of the song. I'm like, oh, nice, Sick Sputnik. And I was like, a couple weeks ago, I shit the bed on the Misfits, one of my favorite bands of all time. I love that band. In high school, in the small town where I grew up in, this girl moved there from Canada, and she was like super cool. And became friends with her, and she got me into that band. All their music's really cool, and she was way into them. The old B-52 stuff. I don't know if you ever listened to that. It's really, really awesome.
Yeah, love the.
And she was the world's biggest Neil Diamond fan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they had a car, her and her friend, and we were freshmen. They drive us around to listen to Neil Diamond and Sick Sputnik, and the B-52s.
That's cool.
Wide range.
Yes, you were a cool kid, obviously.
I was not cool when I was a freshman. I wonder if I was still wearing neck gear back then.
You mean your headgear braces?
Yeah, I only had the neck gear, though, not around the whole head.
Dude, we were just at church. I was telling you that church ran a little late because somebody had a seizure in the pews. It was crazy. Yeah, it was wild. This lady had a seizure right in front of us, like the row in front. But the takeaway from church I thought was interesting. It's something that we talk about a lot, and actually has a lot to do with the shirt you're wearing right now that you got on libertytreelifestyle.com. Anti-mimetic thinking. So the whole theme this month is putting your phone down.
Nice.
And he's challenging everyone in the congregation to go 28 days without scrolling.
Right.
Essentially.
Right.
He was making the point. It's like, obviously there's utilities like your calculator is okay. You're not going to go down a rabbit hole in your calculator. I mean, unless Jake always sends us those memes. Says you've been banned from calculator, and it's some math problem like 6 million divided by 365.
Yeah,
I don't get that one. But anyways, I thought it was cool that he's doing that. And one of the things he said was, he plays this game on his phone. He's like, I'm taking that app off my phone, and I got to thinking like, how can you, as an adult, have a game on your phone? I'm not saying games aren't fun. I like playing games, but if you're an adult, like, you already know that being on your phone too much is not good.
right.
I think everyone
Yes.
knows that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. So you're putting a game on your phone so that in the times that you aren't on your phone,
You can still be on your
you
phone.
can then have a reason to still be on your phone.
Right.
Like, just doesn't make any sense. So regardless if you're doing this 28-day fast, if you have a game on your phone, like,
Is this
think
like
about what you're
like a
doing.
video game or something? Is this like the
Like Candy Crush or, those like stupid like Tetris style games that.
I'm old school. I was thinking of Snake. Remember the old
Oh, yeah.
Motorola's?
Yes. Snake, exactly. The original phone game.
That's funny. A friend of mine, we met for a beer yesterday, and we were having a long talk about technology. He's kind of anti-technology too. But we're talking about it's just we know that it's bad for us. Oop. I'm good. They weren't open. We know that it's bad for us. We know what it's doing to our brain, and it's just like we can't help ourselves. Like still, we were looking around. We were in a restaurant, and we're looking over at every single person sitting at a table together, like
Yes.
3 people. And I've brought this up before, but just doing this, like not even looking at anything, just
You're scrolling. Yeah.
Yeah, which to me, if you watch it, if you observe this from the outside, you're like, that's the body language of I would rather just anything except talking to this person in front of me, and they're both doing it. There's like
You see it.
here.
You see it a lot. Like if you go to a doctor's office and you're waiting, there's a bunch of people waiting. You look around and every single person's on their phone, and I'm very self-conscious of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, for some reason, don't have I couldn't find it on my phone where it tells you like how much you actually use your phone, but it's always lower than everybody else for me.
Yeah, me too.
And when I look around the doctor's office and I see everyone else on their phones, it like triggers something in my brain. Probably that like just got to be a contrarian thing where it's like I'm not going to get on my fucking phone.
I'm gonna start swimming upstream here.
I'm just going to sit here and look at you people on your phones. That is way more fascinating.
Surrogate activity of the surrogate activity.
Precisely. Dude, he brought up a bunch of statistics, but one of them was that kids today are going to be like for the first time in human history are going to have fewer memories of what they did as children than what other people were doing.
Explain that.
They're going to have more memories of things other people have done than their own memories of things that they've done.
Oh, that's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Isn't that insane?
Yeah.
Because they just have seen so many
Yeah.
things. They just sit things and things and things. They just see all this shit happening. It definitely made me think like I got to tighten things up around my house. Because Junior watches a lot of
We just had that
YouTube.
talk this morning. Is actually I woke up this morning. We're early risers. Usually everyone in the house is up and about by 6 o'clock or something like that. And I slept in like a tiny bit, like 6:15, something like that. And I walked out, and it's wintertime. It's raining outside. The heater has kicked on. We're having company later. The house is immaculate. Just did kind of like not a remodel, but did a bunch of painting. And over the new year, we reorganized all the furniture, did a deep clean, got the house all super nice. I woke up. I was like, oh, it's so nice. I walk in the living room and just hearing this blaring, just low IQ kids cartoon. I had to tell my kid, I'm like, I need you to turn that off. He goes, but why? I'm like, because I don't want to start my day off listening to this. I feel like I'm leeching IQ points when I walk into the living room.
I watch a lot of TV in our house. I watch a ton of YouTube videos. Mainly, at least I tell myself it's for the podcast.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get information.
Porn.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. And I watch a lot of sports. But if I walked into my living room when I got home and just took a hammer and just fucking bashed in my TV, I'll bet you it would be an improvement on my life quality.
Oh, absolutely. I always say we were on a road trip, and my wife asked, I had talked about how I had put money in Dogecoin, and then I sold it, made some money. I was like, if I would have held on to it, because I bought it, this was like 5 years ago. Yeah. I was like, if I would have held that, it was going to be like $20 million, something like that. Yeah. Which is an exercise you should never go through.
You can't do that.
Yeah. But anyway, it led to an interesting conversation of like.
The secret to happess is thinking about all the what ifs that
all
if you
the
had just done it a little bit differently in life.
Forget about tomorrow, man.
Yesterday.
And but it starts the conversation like, what would you have done? I was like, first thing I would have done is take my phone and just chucked it into a lake. I was like, I don't need this anymore. I'll get a landline at the house, an answering machine. I was like, I have to have this phone. I need it for work. I need it because I have relationships that I need to maintain and to keep life functional. I was like, $20 million. I'm like, all new friends, like right off the bat. So those guys are gone. Yeah. Yeah, I just would have. I was like, that's the only reason I need it. I have to stay intact with society to stay functional and pay my bills and do all this stuff. And it's like, I would chuck the thing.
Yeah. Well, do chuck your scrolling apps for the next 28 days with the rest of us. I was listening to the Tom Woods podcast yesterday, Tom Woods show, and he had Daryl Cooper on.
The Nazi.
Yes. And they were discussing, I think they were discussing the, quote, Civil War on the right, end quote. But and it was an interesting podcast, but he brought up something that I found really interesting. He was talking about hope for 2026. And he basically said kind of the similar thing that we said last episode, or the kind of white pill stuff we were talking about.
Yeah.
People are really starting to wake up to what's going on, and it just seems like there's reason for optimism.
Yeah.
But he brought up World War I and how what happened in World War I essentially was you had a bunch of countries that were ruled by monarchs, kings.
Yeah.
And they, in case for the layperson, kings. And they told all of the people who...
Like Donald Trump.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. They told all the people who lived in their countries that we're going to war, and those people had to go to war. And so just millions of people were mobilized to fight this great war, this war to end all wars. And then at the end of it, everyone kind of realized, like, that was pointless. And look at the price that we paid for that. And look at how, it's totally changed society, and it really disillusioned a lot of people. And so that led to the end of all these monarchs.
Yeah.
And they were all replaced by democracies.
Some form of democracy.
Yeah. Self-determination.
Yeah.
Woodrow Wilson's idea. And that made me think of the book that I always talk about, Democracy, the God That Failed, by Mr. Hans Hermann Hoppe. And this is from the introduction to that book. I thought the way that he puts it is perfect.
Introduction. World War I marks one of the great watersheds of modern history. With its end, the transformation of the entire Western world from monarchical rule and sovereign kings to democratic republican rule and sovereign people that began with the French Revolution was completed. Until 1914, only 3 republics had existed in Europe: France, Switzerland, and after 1911, Portugal. And of all major European monarchies, only the United Kingdom could be classified as a parliamentary system, that is, one in which supreme power was vested in an elected parliament. Only 4 years later, after the United States had entered the European War and decisively determined its outcome, monarchies all but disappeared, and Europe, along with the entire world, entered the age of democratic republicanism. In Europe, the militarily defeated Romanovs, Hohenzollerns, and Habsburgs had to abdicate or resign, and Russia, Germany, and Austria became democratic republics with universal, male and female suffrage and parliamentary governments. Likewise, all of the newly created successor states, with the sole exception of Yugoslavia, adopted democratic republican constitutions. In Turkey and Greece, the monarchies were overthrown, and even where monarchies remained nominally in existence, as in Great Britain, Italy, Spain, Belgium, the Netherlands, and the Scandinavian countries, monarchs no longer exercised any governing power. Universal adult suffrage was introduced, and all government power was vested in parliaments and public officials.
So Daryl Cooper is saying, like, we got this thing that was supposed to fix the problem of World War I. Like, it's ridiculous that these kings are just telling people that they should go to war, and then the people have to go to war and die for no good reason. So we got democracies. And what do the democracies proceed to do? The exact same thing.
Yeah.
Except it's the people are doing it, right? This is the people's will, because mob rule makes everything totally okay. So instead of having one king, we end up with 51% of the population becomes your king and forces you to go and die for the same dumb reasons that actually never needed to happen in the first place. Except that they, instead of just commanding the people to go to war, they come up with tricks, propaganda, and nationalism, and they're able to manipulate.
Enter Edward Bernays,
right?
The father of propaganda.
Exactly.
Yep.
How do you know he is the father of propaganda?
He released a book called Propaganda.
And so here we are, fast forward to today, and we have started to wake up to the idea that that's what's happening. That just because we have a democracy doesn't mean that we're all still being manipulated into going and dying in these stupid wars that don't benefit anybody but a few wealthy elites.
In a certain country in the Middle East to take the last couple decades.
And so Donald Trump, who was this guy that came along and promised to end that.
Yeah.
End the senseless
Regime change wars.
Was up on stage telling Jeb Bush that his brother lied us into Iraq and ruined the country because of that. And that was like this moment that launched him onto the national stage and gathered all the support around him of people that were like, yes, finally, someone's speaking the truth. Let's fucking go. We're voting for this guy.
Yeah.
And what do we get? The same goddamn thing.
Same thing.
All over again.
Yeah.
And then just yesterday, we find out that we've now bombed the shit out of another country that was minding its own business, Venezuela.
Yes.
And we deposed the brutal dictator, Maduro.
Yeah.
There.
It's kind of funny there. I don't know. There was some big football game on last night. I think the Niners were playing. I don't know. Does this decide who's going to the Super Bowl or something?
No, it was the last game of the regular season.
Okay.
And it determined who was going to have a bye in the first week of the playoffs and home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Okay.
And Seattle won that game, and so they're the ones with the bye, home field advantage throughout. The 49ers were dropped to the
I got it.
fifth or sixth seed.
Did I share that recipe with you? So my in-laws who live one house down, they're big football fans. They love the Niners. And so my wife's like, do you want to go down there and watch the game? I was like, I'll come down there a little bit later because we'll have like a glass of wine and they order some pizzas and stuff. And I was like, let me tidy up here because I was finishing working here. And I was like, I'll come down like 45 or something like that. And I walked in and my wife had like prepped them. She goes, okay, they want to know what's going on with Venezuela. And I'm like,
oh, boy.
Oh, okay. And they like pause the TV.
Oh, boy.
I had to give like a TED talk off the top of my head. I look at my wife. I'm like, hey, a little heads up would have been nice. And then because I give my TED talks in the house all the time. And I'm telling them, I'm like, okay, like here's just what I know off the top of my head. I didn't really bring any notes or anything. And my wife's like shouting stuff out. Like, you didn't mention Henry Kissinger. I'm like, right, thank you. Okay, so if you go back to 1974, we were looking at the petrodollar with Henry Kissinger, and he arranged this, these situations with all these other countries that they would stay in the petro. Okay, the petrodollar is what shores up the U.S. economy. Okay, and I keep going like back and back and back. It was pretty fun.
Nice.
I had a couple drinks in me, and my wife's like, that was a great job.
And they were enlightened by it, or? Because they don't have a lot of strong opinions from my experience. They usually go to you for...
They, bless their hearts, they rely on me for what's really going on because they watch mainstream media. And the interesting thing is they're I guess you would call them lefties. And so they hate Trump, and they kept talking about like Trump. And I'm like, it's the same thing like over and over and over again if you go back. And that's something that turned into my TED Talk. I'm like,
well, Obama never did that.
No, not
7 times.
We're deported more people than Trump yet. It brought up an interesting question. I was like, we have all these because right now there's some patterns that you can kind of see. And one interesting thing is they're like, well, Trump's just an asshole. I'm like, that's fine. Like, I have no argument. I agree with you actually on that. I was like, but if you have an issue with him, doing a regime change in Venezuela, I'm like, we can't really point that finger and call it a Trump thing. You know what I mean? I mean, we can now, but he's just part of
a long history.
Else.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is we have all these things that are going on in our country that we don't see anyone to be held accountable for, right? All we get is a long list of preemptive pardons and failed audits and year-long stories about the papers or files are on my desk. I just haven't gotten to them yet and shit like that. I'm like, no one was held to account for like the COVID lockdowns and kids losing 2 years of 2 years of learning loss in children. Vaccines and injuries, nothing. We don't hear anything about the FBI agents at J6. We don't hear anything about the FBI agents that were going to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. No one was held to account for the 2008 housing collapse. I was like, all these things are happening here, and all we get is this big collective shrug. Like, we're missing $76 billion in California, and we just get like, where you want? There's nothing we can do. Yeah. The Pentagon just failed their audit for the 8th year in a row. I think that's like almost trillions of dollars, like just missing. I was like, but evil dictator, thousands of miles away in another country, got it. We'll have him here in the morning, and he will stay on trial and be accountable.
Oh, he's gonna be accountable.
And well, at some point, you have to go like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'd like to. What did he do exactly? What's his crime?
Well, he was an evil dictator, and then he was suppressing democracy, and then he was shipping drugs into the U.S. And just like when you work with construction, I was like, the reason for you not showing up yesterday, you would say, my car broke down. You wouldn't say, my car broke down, and then my girlfriend's dog got out, and I was feeling under the weather. I'm like, okay, so you're full of shit. Just give me the one excuse, stick to it, and we can move on.
Right. That's an important point, because what you're hearing now, what it started out with was fentanyl, right?
Right.
And then it was, well, it's cocaine. And it's actually drug cartels.
The CIA is not going to stand for someone shipping thousands of tons of cocaine into the U.S.
No, sir. And then it became, they didn't hide the fact that it was about oil. And then it became
308 billion barrels they're sitting on. And this guy decided to go off the petrodollar and trade in the Chinese yuan. And all of a sudden, this guy's an evil dictator, and we need to get rid of him. And
there's links to terrorism in the Middle East. It's like, well, which one is it?
Thanks, Netanyahu, for making those connections for us.
Like, why isn't it the first one that you started with? And there's a reason that they started with the drug boats, right? You start bombing drug boats because that's how you get your foot in the door. And that appeals to a certain group of Americans who are probably like middle-aged white guys that for their whole lives have been told that they gotta not be so masculine and they can't really, fighting is bad and standing up for yourself is bad, and men being at the head of the household isn't cool anymore. And now you finally give them this like red meat. Well, we're gonna hold these drug dealers accountable. We're gonna blow up those fucking boats.
The footage you can watch on YouTube of
over and over again.
Right.
Yes.
Blowing them up.
And those guys are like, fuck yeah. Bomb those fucking boats. Finally, someone's in there and they're doing something manly again. But they didn't start with seizing oil tankers. They started by bombing drug boats.
Yeah.
Because if you start with seizing oil tankers, everyone goes, whoa, hold on a second. Yeah. What are you doing here? But no, it's fine. We bombed the drug boats. Remember, these are bad guys. This is a drug cartel. So now we're taking the oil because drug cartel, right? And now we're going to bomb the shit out of the country and take out the head of it because of the oil tankers. Because
all of the usual connections are the propaganda, to go back to Edward Bernays. It's all happening in real time because it starts out with the drug boats. There's, as you're saying, there's your red meat for your neocon, like right-wingers, been told to shut up for the last 8 years. You know what I mean?
Right.
That scratches his itch, right?
Big time.
And then...
Because they want to believe. Those people really want to believe that Trump is the guy. He's going to change things. He's going to turn things around. And I wanted to believe that too. I get it. Like, I do not blame those people for that. But the evidence is not backing up that hope.
Yeah. It kind of made me think that, look, dude, we liberated Venezuela, you hippies. Stop fucking complaining. You're welcome. We got rid of this evil dictator. Same thing, like over and over. And I was thinking about this because the Trump administration and the MAGA people that are still on the MAGA boat are celebrating this of like, okay, like America is back. You know what I mean? We're imposing our will on another country, and they were killing all these people with drugs coming in, and he was suppressing democracy. We're going to drop some democracy on their ass and stabilize the region. I'm like, these are all the exact same talking points. We're going to be greeted as liberators. We're going to spread democracy in the region. We're going to bring stability to the region. I'm like, this is Iraq 2.0. This is, you guys didn't even change like the sales pitch.
Yep.
And it's like America, you know when Oprah comes out and she'll give everyone in the audience a vacation?
Yeah.
That's kind of what America is like with democracy. They come out like, who wants some democracy? Dropped on their ass. It's like Yemen, Syria, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Somalia, Sudan. Just
Totally.
and you're at the point that now it's Venezuela, and it's like the American Oprah is just like, here's the thing, like everyone, like, who wants democracy? It's limitless. It's made up. We just made it up. That means it could never run out. So Iran back there, so you get nervous. We got some left over for you. Don't get your hijab in a bunch there. Like everyone's getting democracy. Like don't worry about it.
How many videos have you seen in all your different feeds of right-wingers showing videos of Venezuelans celebrating what happened?
We had those videos in Iraq.
Right? Didn't we? I
Yeah.
know. Here's one. So everyone's dancing, yay for Venezuela. And it made me think, I was like, you know what this protest here, the celebration looks like? It looks like a No Kings protest. And it got me thinking like, well, if another country invaded the United States
Yeah.
and kidnapped Donald Trump,
Yeah.
how hard would it be to find a celebration
Oh, no.
like that, right? I mean, we could walk to a celebration
Right.
that was happening, celebrating that same thing. That doesn't justify what we did.
Yeah.
It's like, see, he was a drug dealer. He was a cartel leader. He was really bad to his people. And look how happy they are now that he's gone. Okay, everyone settle down. You people who thought this wouldn't work, settle down. Look, there's people celebrating in the streets. As if we haven't seen this before.
Okay, a couple things on that, because my wife brought this up. She goes, have you seen the celebrations? There's millions of people. I'm like, sure they are. Because like, this is what gets frustrating, is it gets turned into a binary. I was like, because when you say like, dude, we can't just go into other countries, kidnap the leader of that country, and then bring him back and put him on trial in the U.S. I mean, he's going to die in prison now, just like Noriega did, which we'll talk to. There's some parallels there. I was like, and by me pointing out that what we're doing is not right, doesn't mean that I'm a Maduro supporter. He probably was an evil dictator. And he probably was selling drugs. I was like, but like he's an evil dictator that's suppressing democracy. Give me a map of Africa, throw a dart at it, and I'll find you a country that's being run by some warlord who's like has murdered and raped his way through the entire country.
An evil
I
dictator.
was just like, why is it we are only like fixating on these like certain countries? And I was like, there's your oil connection. I was like, there's also footage of all these people, millions in the street in Libya in 2014 when we took out Gaddafi.
Same with Iraq.
Where's Gaddafi? Where's Libya now?
It's circling the toilet. I would say.
Yes, because we went in there, like, dropped some, Oprah, dropped some democracy on their ass, 2014, and then we go to find out, millions came to the street and celebrated, and then, like, he was just about to go off the petrodollar to go to the gold back dinar and make Libya one of the most, like, independently wealthy countries in the entire world because they're sitting on this oil, just like Venezuela. Venezuela used to be one of the wealthiest countries in the entire world. Now, through a combination of sanctions and them socializing or nationalizing their oil industry, and then to offset the losses for that, nationalizing the agricultural industry, they turned into a third world shithole, which is where they were now.
Which is what happens with socialism every single
we had
time.
the videos of people in Libya celebrating, and, like, basically we went in there like, okay, we're going to bring you democracy. And what we get is the petrodollar. What you get is democracy. And 10 years of competing warlord factions trying to rule the country and open-air slave markets. Like, you're welcome.
Yeah, democracy's messy. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Figure it out.
Democracy, we deliver.
I heard an interesting theory this morning that the reason Trump is doing this is because Israel is going to invade Iran. And Iran, in response, is going to shut down the Strait of Hormuz.
Which 20% of that oil comes from Venezuela, which moves through that strait.
Right.
Yep.
So 20% of the world's oil is going to now be off the market, meaning prices go through the roof. And what do you know? We, American corporations, hold the largest oil reserve in the world, which is not going to mean that the prices don't go up.
Yeah.
And it's really dangerous, I think, because the countries who use that Venezuelan oil are not our friends, because that Venezuela is not allowed to sell it to our friends because of sanctions, like you mentioned before. Like this could
it goes to Russia, China, and North Korea.
Yeah, I don't think Russia imports it because they have plenty of their own. But yeah, the axis of evil is who's using that oil. They're probably not going to be too happy about
Axis
this.
of evil.
I just coined that.
Did you?
Yeah, I just made that up. It's good, right? It's got a
Good, man.
ring to it.
Yeah. There's also at the same time, like Trump's favorability ratings have been in the toilet because he's lost. The left hates him no matter what. Doesn't matter what he does, they're going to hate him. And now he's lost support from the right, and his favorability ratings are tanking. And when you look at these patterns, you look at H.W. Bush, right? Do you remember? This would be 1989, so you probably don't remember if we didn't care about politics back then, which is good. That would have been sick if we did, because we were little kids. He was known as a wimp president, and this, Noriega in Panama, who was put there by the CIA. If that sounds like a wild conspiracy theory, it's on his Wikipedia page. If you look up Manuel Noriega, started getting froggy, and they said exact same thing that we're saying about Maduro. It's like he's shipping cocaine into the U.S. 1989. Yeah, the CIA is not going to have that, right?
Yeah.
And so, as kind of a twofer, it's like, okay, this guy's getting froggy, and he's kind of discoupling from U.S. interests, and you're seen as a wimp, and you're not going to win the next election because your polling is so low. I was like, if we go in there and you take him out in '89, same thing. Took him out, no longer a wimp. Polls went up through the roof. We got control of that country.
You're saying Donald Trump is following the Herbert Walker playbook of how to improve your favorability?
George H.W. Bush polling in his son. Polling in the toilet. Yeah, George W. Bush polling in the toilet. 9/11 happens. Gets his little hard hat on, the megaphone, talking about evildoers beware, and we're going to find you. And if you're not with us, if you're not for us, you're against us. Yeah. 6 weeks later, we invaded Iraq, right? Because the hijackers were from Saudi Arabia and Egypt. So we invaded Iraq 2003. 6 weeks after our invasion of Iraq, he lands on the USS Abraham Lincoln with his little flight suit on and the mission accomplished banner. Polling through the roof. Now
it's not going to work this time, though.
No, it's not. And but also, same thing as Libya and all these other countries is like we went to Iraq 6 weeks later, mission accomplished. Did the war in Iraq end? No. Or has since then, we still have almost 50,000 troops in Iraq right now.
It still hasn't ended.
No, it's still going on. And the only side thing that we have is 1 million dead Iraqi civilians.
Right.
And so, but Trump's saying this out loud now with Maduro and Venezuela. Like, we got him out, mission accomplished, and we're going to have to stay behind there. And this goes back, remember we talked about like the Operation Gladio going back in Italy? The stay behind units. Like, we got to leave these CIA-backed assets in the country to make sure that things are kind of running as we see fit.
Yeah.
Other than that, I haven't really looked into this stuff.
It's not going to work because Trump ran on opposing that line of thinking.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
That energized people.
Yeah.
People were all about that. George W. Bush won a lot of support from people who eventually would become never Trumpers. Right? It's not just that George W. Bush won all the Republican voters over just like Trump did. Trump drew from a totally different coalition.
Yeah.
It was people that were tired of the endless wars and people that wanted to believe that he was going to bring peace to the world.
Yeah.
So him going this route, I don't see it working. His favorability is going to continue.
His New Year's Eve, they caught him. The press caught him going into Mar-a-Lago, where
I saw that.
Netanyahu was like, Trump, you have anything to say? He goes, yes, peace on earth. 48 hours later, he's bombing Venezuela and executing a regime change. He was like, what are we doing here?
Not peace, at least not my definition of peace.
As I was telling my in-laws, I was like, there's, how do you say it? It's like we keep falling for this because they were making it about Trump. I was like, it's not about Trump. I was like, Obama took us from 2 wars to 7 that we know of.
Stop talking about Trump. It's not all about Trump. Not every single thing is about Trump. Look at the big picture here.
They got it because I said like we're falling for this pro wrestling like over and over and over again because no matter who you vote for, what you're going to get is John McCain and Lindsey Graham, except they're not gay. Obama's suspect, #Big Mike, never forget. But no matter who has their what letter is in front of their name. It's the same thing like over and over and over again. And it makes me think that I get accused of this a lot. Like, why are you always dwelling in this like dark space all the time? I was like, well, it's not dark. I was like, I just like to know stuff. I like looking at the history of this. I like developing the pattern recognition of seeing the same thing happen over and over and over again. And the end, it's always, they call it a quagmire, or mistakes were made, or 500,000 civilians died. And it's like, and we're sold the same bill of goods, the same, you know, they don't even deviate from the propaganda anymore. We get the evil dictator, he's doing drugs, he has anthrax and chemical weapons.
Weapons of mass destruction.
Weapons of mass destruction into Crete, or slightly north, south, east, and west of there, to quote Donald Rumsfeld. I was like, it's actually kind of a liberating spot to be in, which is the way that George Bush liberated Iraq. And now we just liberated Venezuela. I was like, because once that you realize that no matter what letters in front of the name, you know, what if your team's going to win, every 4 years we have this made-for-TV show selection process where everyone gets to find out if their team wins, to bring it back to football. Mm-hmm. I was like, in the end of the day, once you realize that no matter who wins this TV show and what letters in front of their name, that in reality all we're going to get is just another version of some globalist, satanic, sexual degenerate, warmongering pedophile. I was like, it liberates your brain to go like, okay, now I don't have to have no emotional attachment. I don't have to get involved in the conversation when someone goes like, oh, it looks like the Democrats might take the House in the midterms. And you're like, really? And then what? We don't get the Epstein files.
Right.
More kids go and die in the desert for Israel. Is that what's going to happen? You're just like, what? It does not matter. This is pro wrestling.
So this kind of brings me back to what Daryl Cooper was saying, because at the end of World War I, it seemed like the elites had completely betrayed the people. And there was one group of people who were talking to them about their problems and meeting them at their needs at the bottom where they were dwelling, where these poor people were dwelling. And that group of people were the socialists. So that's when that's what started the National Socialists in Germany. Mm-hmm. Total reaction to what had gone on with the monarchs there, and just
I know they're known for hating modern art. Is there anything else they did?
The Bolsheviks came out of that. The Communist Revolution in China. All of this, the people were neglected by the system, so they turned to the only people who were talking to them on their terms, right? Mm-hmm. And we are in great danger of that happening now, because we had someone that was speaking to the people and telling them that all of this stuff, that you're being robbed and you're being lied to by the powers that be, and that person was Donald Trump, and everyone was like, all right, let's fucking go. And then it turns out we got John McCain again. And so where are people going to turn? Now, if another America First candidate comes along, people are going to just roll their eyes.
You think people are excited about J.D. Vance now?
No. But who are they excited about?
Mondani.
Right? This guy won.
Mom, Dom, me. That's that one congresswoman.
She's teaching people how to pronounce it.
Teaching people how to say it correctly. Who was the lady who the Eagles had just won, and she went out and spelled out Eagles wrong to get them to chant it?
Really?
She goes, E-G-L-A-S-E. It was awesome.
That's
We
like
gotta dig that up.
That's like the graffiti downtown when during the George Floyd riots, like around the office that I used to be in, and all the graffiti that they painted on all the buildings all over, they misspelled Floyd. It was Flyod. Come on. Like, if you're gonna deface public property, at least spell the fucking word right.
Be straight with me. Did you put that there?
That would be, it's an excellent trolling.
Great psyop.
Yeah.
It's actually pretty fitting.
Totally. So Mondani just gave his inauguration speech, and somebody drew it to my attention. I think Sean texted me about it and said, this guy is the Charlie Kirk of the left.
Yeah.
People really like him. And it's because he is intelligent and he speaks really well. Mm-hmm. He's probably the most articulate Democrat since Obama. You know, at this point, he can't run for president because he wasn't born in the United States. So I don't know how high his political aspirations are, but something to keep an eye on. But I thought it was actually worth listening to his speech.
Maybe someone on the left that's a counterpart to Ben Shapiro can figure out a way. You know, Ben Shapiro came out and said we need to change the laws so Netanyahu can run for president in the United States. If you can find someone like that on the left, help him out.
Well, Ted Cruz is talking about running for president. He was born in Canada, but I think he is a naturalized citizen because he was born. When he was born, he was a U.S. citizen.
Obama was born in Nigeria. He ended up being president.
I thought it was Kenya.
Kenya. Oh, yeah, Kenya.
What's always the case with the socialists, they're really good at identifying people's problems. They always pull out exactly what people's hang-ups are. And I think that was the case after World War I also. That's why people gravitate towards them. What they suck at are solutions to those problems.
Actually fixing those problems.
Their solutions are just complete like fever dreams of something that will actually never happen.
Yeah.
Right. But anyways, I want to play his speech. It's a little bit long, but let's pause it here and there, and we can feel free to tell me to pause it wherever you want. But I made some notes here and the different points of the different problems that he's identifying. It was a really long speech, so I did a few things to shorten it.
I stand before you, moved by the privilege of taking this sacred oath, humbled by the faith that you have placed in me, and honored to serve as either your 111th or 112th mayor of New York City. But I do not
stand alone. I stand alongside you. But this comes rarely. Seldom.
Do we hold such an opportunity to transform and reinvent? Rarer still is it the people themselves whose hands are the ones upon the levers of change. And yet we know that too often in our past, moments of great possibility have been promptly surrendered to small imagination and smaller ambition. What was promised was never pursued.
Power to the people.
What could have changed remained the same.
We all think that's right. That
For
the
New
people
Yorkers most
should be
eager
in
to
charge
see our
of
city
themselves.
remade, the weight has only grown heavier. The wait has only grown longer. In writing this address, I have been told that this is the occasion to reset expectations, that I should use this opportunity to encourage the people of New York to ask for little and expect even less. I will do no such thing. That I should use this opportunity to encourage the people of New York to ask for little and expect even less. I will do no such thing.
Do you think someone said to him, this is the moment that you need to encourage New Yorkers to ask for little and expect even less? Does anyone really think that a political advisor said to this politician, what you need to do, no, don't promise people great things.
Yeah.
Tell them to expect less and don't ask for anything and expect less. Like, especially as socialists.
Yeah.
Their whole thing is promising people the sky. Yeah. That they can't ever deliver. Like, he's lying.
No longer will City Hall hesitate to use its power to improve New Yorkers' lives.
For too long, we have turned to the private sector for greatness while accepting mediocrity from those who serve the public. I cannot blame anyone who has come to question the role of government, whose faith in democracy has been eroded by decades of apathy. We will restore that trust by walking a different path. One where government
points out another
is no
good point.
longer
Mediocrity
solely the final
in government.
recourse for those struggling. One where excellence is no longer the exception. We expect greatness from the cooks wielding 1,000 spices, from those who stride out onto our Broadway stages, and from our starting point guard at Madison Square Garden. Let us demand the same from those who work in government. In a city where the mere names of our streets are associated with the innovation of the industries that call them home.
Yeah, I was going to say,
We
this
will
guy's
make
good.
the
He's
word
that perfect
City
little...
Hall synonymous with both resolve and results.
As we embark upon this work, let us advance a new question, a new answer to those who never strain to capture the attention of those in power.
Working people have reckoned with the consequences. crowded classrooms and public housing developments where the elevators sit out of orders. Roads littered with potholes and buses that arrive half an hour late, if at all. Wages that do not rise and corporations that rip off consumers and employees alike. And still, there have been brief, fleeting moments where the equation changed. 12 years ago, Bill de Blasio stood where I stand now, as he promised to put an end to economic and social inequalities that divided our city into two. In 1990, David Dinkins swore the same oath I swore today, vowing to celebrate the gorgeous mosaic that is New York, where every one of us is deserving of a decent life. And nearly 6 decades before him, Fiorella LaGuardia took office with the goal of building a city that was far greater and more beautiful for the hungry and the poor. Some took office with the goal of building a city that was far greater and more beautiful for the hungry and the poor.
I'm glad you played that last section because I was getting distracted when I go to the crowd. I was like, is there any men in this audience?
He keeps citing these previous, like, basically socialist mayors, like Dinkins.
Yeah.
And all of that, he's saying, like, look, these guys had the right idea. They were trying to make New York work for the people. And under all of them, New York just got worse and worse and worse. The only mayors that ever made New York better, at least in modern times, were the Republican ones who just cracked down on crime.
Like Giuliani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's going to happen this time? This time we're doing socialism right, Matt.
It's
never been done right before.
correctly.
Now we're going to do it right, and it's actually going to work. You guys wait and see. Unless someone gets in our way and stops us.
And it's that last 4% that we couldn't do is why it didn't work this time.
Because of those goddamn white Republicans.
Just a privileged few. It could belong to those who operate our subways and rake our parks. Those who feed us biryani and beef patties. Picanha and pastrami on rye. And they know that this belief could be made true if only government dared to work hardest for those who work hardest. Over the years to come, my administration will resurrect that legacy. City Hall will deliver an agenda of safety, affordability, and abundance, where government looks and lives like the people it represents, never flinches in the fight against corporate greed, and refuses to cower before challenges that others have deemed too complicated. In so doing, we will provide our own answer to that age-old question. Who does New York belong to? Well, my friends, we can look to Madiba and the South African Freedom Charter. New York belongs to all who live in it. Well, my friends, we can look to Madiba and the South African Freedom Charter. New York belongs to all who live in it.
We're going to look to South Africa as a way to make New York better. Because as we all know, South Africa is just...
Everyone's trying to immigrate to South Africa.
They got to put up a wall to keep people out of South Africa, especially the white people.
By the 1%. Nor will it be a tale of two cities, the rich versus the poor. It will be a tale of 8.5 million cities, each of them a New Yorker with hopes and fears. Each is the poor. It will be a tale of 8.5 million cities, each of them a New Yorker with hopes and fears. Each.
That's the line that stood out to me because I heard that. Because at some point he gets in, what is it, the cold embrace of individualism in the warm
frigidity
blanket
of individualism for the warm embrace of collectivism.
But then we have the opposite here.
Right. New York isn't going to be a tale of just the wealthy or even a tale of two cities. It's going to be 8 million
individuals.
That's
not how collectivism works.
Isn't that where they get the word individualism from?
Yes,
I'm not an etymologist.
I believe those two things are
related at least,
the
right?
authors of this story
Okay, so we're going with individualism. Sweet.
Pashto and Mandarin, Yiddish and Creole. They will pray in mosques, at shul, at church.
Gurdwaras and mandirs and temples. And many will not pray at all. There will be Russian Jewish immigrants
They will be Palestinian New Yorkers in Bay Ridge.
You can actually understand him.
Palestinian New Yorkers in Bay Ridge.
I don't know what program you use to edit this.
Yeah.
But I'm not a big fan of AI.
Yeah.
But if they develop this where you can use it in real life interactions,
where the your notes kind of show up on
whoever's talking to you, I can just go like,
you can fast forward them.
Yes.
You don't even fast forward them. You just turn their voice into the chipmunks. I paused it there because he got a huge applause when he mentioned Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
And so why? Well, he identified another problem. That's endless wars.
Yeah.
Because that's why people hate Israel right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not because they're anti-Semitic, but because that country is ruining.
Pointing their finger to different countries all over the world, and the U.S. invades them. And it's been going on for decades.
And they're committing a genocide on the people who they have basically been the guardians of since 1948.
We will draw this city closer together. We will replace the frigidity of rugged individualism with the warmth of collectivism. If our campaign demonstrated that the people of New York yearn for solidarity, then let this government foster it. Not only will we make it possible for every New Yorker to afford a life they love once again, we will overcome the isolation that too many feel.
Here come the solutions.
And connect the people of this city to one another. The cost of childcare will no longer discourage young adults from starting a family, because we will deliver universal childcare for the many by taxing the wealthiest few.
Is this Dreamweaver?
Yeah.
Those in rent-stabilized homes will no longer dread the latest rent hike, because we will freeze the rent. Getting on a bus without worrying about a fare hike or whether you'll be able to get to your destination on time will no longer be deemed a small miracle, because we will make those buses fast and free. Destination on time will no longer be deemed a small miracle, because we will make those buses fast and free.
Just gonna make them fast and free.
Fast and free.
Kind of remind the people in the crowd were me when I heard Gavin Newsom, when he was mayor of San Francisco, say, "We're gonna end homelessness, like 0% homelessness." And I'm like, finally, someone just had the balls to actually say we're gonna do the
Why
thing.
has no one thought of that before?
We're gonna make the buses fast and free. Are you?
Are you now?
I mean, I could do that.
Yeah.
I would ban cars from the streets. And now only buses get to use the streets. Yep. They will be fast. Mm-hmm. And I will make them free by just stealing money from regular people, probably.
Yeah.
For a while, until those people leave and I can't steal their money anymore.
When you start levying these insane taxes on the wealthiest people, what do?
They leave.
They leave.
Yeah. We can stop it there because I think you get the gist of it. He lays out solution after solution that has been
tiring.
It's been tried before. Exactly. It's like we've done all these things. The freezing rent does not make rent easier to afford.
Yeah.
It makes it harder to afford. It creates a black market. We've gone over this a million times. Like, I'm not going to do the whole libertarian thing here, but he's wrong about all these things.
Yeah.
And realize there's a policy proposal that says your plan, and I'm going to quote it for folks, is to shift the tax burden from overtaxed homeowners in the outer boroughs to more expensive homes in richer and whiter neighborhoods. Explain why you are bringing race into your tax proposal.
That is just a description of what we see right now. It's not driven by race. It's more of an assessment of what neighborhoods are being undertaxed versus overtaxed.
So race-based wealth tax. Language on your website.
The focus here is to actually ensure a fair property tax system, and that the use of that language is just an assessment of the neighborhood.
Language on your website.
The focus here is to actually ensure a fair property tax system, and that the use of that language is just an assessment of the neighborhood.
Yeah, you said white neighborhoods, asshole.
demanding stronger tenant protection.
I don't see that going off the rails.
On his first day in office, Mamdani.
Here he is.
Stronger tenant protection.
He's doing his Gavin Newsom working boots.
On his first day in office, Mamdani.
Just the fucking chants that people at protests do.
Demanding
it's
stronger
the most
tenant
cringe.
protection.
What was that? We are the tenants. We are the
On
tenants.
his first day in
shut
office,
up. God, that's
Mamdani
annoying,
made
isn't it?
his first major policy announcement, signing 3 executive orders aimed at protecting tenants and fast-tracking housing across the city.
God,
he said this building, along with
does that
92
work on any
others
level?
owned by the same landlord, is currently in bankruptcy proceedings and set to be auctioned off to a new owner, one who also ranks among the city's worst landlords. In bankruptcy proceedings and set to be auctioned off to a new owner, one who also ranks among the city's worst landlords.
Okay, yeah, your apartment building sucks, and the reason is because it's really, really cheap to live there.
Yes.
And that's why the owner is filing bankruptcy, because he can't afford to keep it. So he's going to sell it to someone else who probably can't afford, either is going to raise the rent or can't afford to keep it up.
Or the city will take it over.
The city will take it over, and they're going to pay for it through magic, apparently. And as we all know, city workers are way more efficient than people in the private sector. So the point of going over all this is just to say that we're in a danger spot. As optimistic as you and I think, are about people's ability to kind of see what's going on. At the same time, you have people really embracing a guy like this because he is speaking to their problems. As you know, he gets all of the issues correct.
Yeah.
But none of it's actually going to work. You can't solve any of it.
Yeah.
The hope that we have has to be a hope for, it has to be hope for a free market. That is the only thing that's going to save us. The reason that we're in all of the quagmires that we're in is because we have gone from a fairly free society to one that's been corrupted steadily year by year by year. One of the statistics that the pastor brought up in church today, he showed how people spend their time. Mm-hmm. And it was one of those graphs where it changes year by year, and you can see the bars of each category changing over time. And so back in 1930...
I saw this study.
Oh, cool.
It's really depressing.
Yeah, so back in 1930, it was the majority of people spent their time with their family.
It
was family, and it was 75% of their time. And then under that was friends, and under that was church.
Yeah, neighbors.
And all that. Yeah. Everything went down from there. And then over time, the family bar just goes down and down and down and down and down. It's down to 4% now. The friends bar kind of still stayed high. But then in 2008, or maybe it was when the internet first came out, that became the top one, and
online.
It just fucking dwarfs everything. People spend 60% of their time
online,
yeah. And that is
playing Snake.
Correct. And that is directly related to the free market being lost in America, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Those two things track perfectly. And that's because we've been robbed from, and the only thing that has been able to replace that is good feelings that you get from
the dopamine rush from the false dopamine rush of sitting on your phone and
or drinking or being comfortable or shopping.
Yeah.
Or being able to, comparing yourself with your neighbors, and you get a little dopamine hit by, I have a nicer car, I have a nicer backyard than my neighbors. Everything important, family and God, has just been shrunken to nothing.
Yeah.
And it's no coincidence that when we were a free country, those things were very, very strong.
Yeah.
Right? Every person was an individual. As we become more and more dependent on the state, all of the good things in life have been swapped out.
Yeah, you should take that graph and then have it next to the graph of the rates of anxiety and depression and suicide and kids going on to SSRIs. And this is what we were talking about yesterday. I was like, it's like the best analogy that I've ever heard about it is like when you are supplementing or you're replacing your connection with the natural world, which would be hanging out with your family, going to church, talking to your neighbors, having friends over, whatever it is, going for a hike or whatever. Instead, you're doing this with your phone. You're staying on your computer. It's like eating junk food because you're hungry. I was like, you satiated that need for around 20, 30 minutes. I was just like, but you are steadily making yourself more sick, malnourished. You're not getting real food and everything. It's the same thing. And they said, like, this is the shit that Ted Kaye was talking about in Industrial Society in his future. And he goes like, you always got to bring up Ted Kaye. I was like, because he was fucking right about all of this stuff.
Totally. Mandami thinks that he's offering socialism as a solution to the capitalism and the free market. But what no one realizes is that we've been getting more and more socialism this whole time. So what he's really, if he's being honest, what he'd be saying is, hey, the socialism that you have, like that's okay, but it's not enough. What the real solution is a way more
you need to
socialism.
Spend more time on your phone to make yourself happy. If you're not on there enough, that's why you're depressed and suicidal.
Soon